This video is all about aligning with your purpose, your truth, and feeling empowered in your right to exist, your right to be here and take up space. In this flow, we'll start slow, we'll build a little bit of heat and then come down and cool into relaxing postures. You might like to have 2 blocks or perhaps a bolster or a blanket, and you can use other items that you have around your home. The important thing is that you feel your best, that you feel comfortable. So if there's a posture or a practice that we're doing, feel free to opt out and take care of yourself, paying attention to your needs. We'll start in a comfortable seat on the floor. You might like to sit up on top of a blanket, or perhaps you have a bolster or a pillow. Elevating the hips so that they're a little bit higher than your knees. I'm going to sit on the bolster. If you'd like to, you can extend one leg out to the side if you feel that your knees are sensitive. Perhaps you roll up a blanket and you place it underneath your knees, or even if you're in the cross-legged seat, you might place blocks or another support under the knees. We'll be here for a few minutes as we settle into our body and the breath. When you find your comfortable seat, think about lengthening your spine tall and draw your chin inward. The hands can rest on your legs. Maybe you close your eyes or you look down to the floor. Settle in, taking a cleansing breath into your nose. Exhale, let it go. One more time, breathing in. Let it go. Your breathing returns to its natural, organic rhythm. Observe how you've arrived on your mat, allowing this to be a time of conscious awareness, a pause in your day. Observe where you make contact with the floor, the steadiness of the earth beneath you, your pelvis, the spine, the arms, shoulders, and your head at the top of the spine. Noticing your face, relaxing the jaw, unclenching teeth. Observe the space of the heart, the belly, and your whole body. Observe the shape of your whole body and where the breath is naturally falling in the body. Where do you experience this organic tide of breath? Perhaps in the belly, the heart. And if you're comfortable with it, begin to extend the tide of your breath. It starts to lengthen as you breathe in and out of the nose. And maybe you even notice the way the breath begins to rise up from the low part of the body, of the spine, to your chest. As you exhale, begin to gently contract the low pelvic abdominal muscles. The navel pulls in gently towards the spine. Connect with your diaphragmatic breath, expanding and contracting. And taking a handful of breaths here. Begin to experience your breath as energy, as particles of light that's expansive throughout the whole body. And your exhale providing a release, integrity in the body. Aligning with your truth, your purpose. Allow the breath to clear the space. One more tide of breath in and out of the nose. If the eyes are closed, you can start to open them up. As you open up the eyes, if you do have the legs crossed, switch so the other leg comes in front. Bring your palms together at the space of your heart. With your inhale, sweep the hands down, rising up. And your exhale, palms come together down to the heart. 2 more. Inhale, expand, lengthen the breath. Exhale, hands at the heart center. And last one, moving with the tide of your breath. As you bring the hands back down, lower them to the legs, and we'll move through a seated cat-cow. As you inhale, lift up your tailbone, lift your chin. Exhale, round, drawing the tailbone in, the abdomen draws in, and the chin in. Inhale, coming forward, and exhale, rounding. Continue to move this way with the rhythm of your own breath. This is your practice, so doing what feels the best for you, allowing a sense of curiosity rather than judgment, observation and compassion. One more time. And the next time you exhale, go ahead and come back to a neutral spine and take your left hand out to the side. It could come onto the floor, maybe it comes onto your blocks. Take your right arm, reaching it up, breathing in. And as you exhale, reach over towards the side. Maybe you draw your shoulder and elbow back. Perhaps the hand comes to the back of your head. Opening spaciousness in the side body. Inhale, rise up. Switch sides. Take the other hand out to the side. Reach up and extend overhead. And your left hip is staying down to create length on the spine. Inhale, rise back up. With your exhale, palms come down to the heart center. Right hand to the left knee, left hand comes behind. Lengthen, extend, and exhaling, twist. You might even look over your left shoulder. With your inhale, take both of the arms up back to the center. Exhale to the other side. Lengthen through the crown of the head, draw the chin down, looking over the back shoulder. Observe how the breath changes here. Maybe you notice it in the mid-spine. Inhale, reach arms back up to the center. Exhale, palms come together down to your heart. Roll forward, come onto your hands and your knees, finding a tabletop position. Perhaps you have your bolster pushed off to the side, or even your blocks may come to the front of your mat, and a blanket might feel nice to have underneath your knees. Finding a tabletop pose, the knees are about hip-width distance apart, your hands underneath the shoulders. Spread the fingers wide, and we'll start to lift the tailbone. Find your cow here, breathe in. With your exhale, round your back, tuck your tailbone, draw your chin in, and send your hips back towards the heels in your child's pose. With your next inhale, guided by the breath, rise up, lift tailbone, lift chin. Exhale, as you contract the low pelvic abdominal muscles, you round your spine and you sit back into your child's pose. Continue this movement, Chakravakasana, with the rhythm of your own breath. riding this tide of breath, like filling up a glass of water. Starts from the base, it comes all the way up. And your exhale, you round. Feel that energy, empowerment, vitality with each inhale. Aligning in your truth, your purpose. With your exhale, come back. Find your child's pose. We'll pause here briefly. Perhaps your head comes down to the floor or it comes onto a block. Experience your breath here. Notice it in your back. The back of your heart, between your shoulders. Dissipating any pockets of tension. With your next inhale, we'll slide forward into a melting heart pose. We'll open up the heart, the lungs. The forearms will come onto the floor. The palms can be face down, the pelvis lifted up in the sky. And drawing your chest down towards the floor. Make sure that your head is supported. It can come onto the floor or it can come onto your block. Sink the heart closer in towards the earth. And call upon the breath. Open and receptive in the heart, the inner arms. One more breath in. With your next inhale, start to float your pelvis towards the mat and moving into a Sphinx pose. The pelvis comes down onto the mat, the forearms stay on the floor, and this time you're lifting up with the crown of your head. The legs can be down on the mat, but they could also be lifted up. Experience this tide of breath, rising out of pelvis, drawing up. Exhale, contracting the low pelvic abdominal muscles. And slowly release, lowered all the way down onto the floor, come into a crocodile. Take a conscious pause to check in. How are you breathing? Allow the weight of the body to release on the floor. And when you're ready, we'll start to come out of this. You can push back up into your hands, finding a tabletop pose, or perhaps you come back into a child's pose. Observe the sensations in the low back, mid back, upper back, whole body breathing. And then start to make your way up into a tabletop pose. If you'd like to stay here in table, you can. If you'd like to explore and move into a downward facing dog, you can curl your toes, spread the fingers wide, and begin to lift the knees up. And maybe even take the pelvis so it reaches up towards the ceiling and your head is released. Keeping a generous bend in the knees. You can bend one knee at a time, explore your pose, any organic movements. And breathe here into your shape. Look up between your hands. You can start to walk your feet forward and find a standing forward fold, claiming your foundation, growing your roots. And then the upper body is allowing to flow over the pelvis. The crown of head can reach down towards the mat. You could also even have blocks in front of you and support your hands on blocks, or hands might come to your elbows. Keep a little bend in your knees. Maybe even explore weight from one foot to the other. Releasing anything that's holding you back. Allowing this change of
perspective to give you clarity. The breath expanding and contracting. And slowly, with your next inhale, start to roll up one vertebrae at a time, very slowly. And as you rise up to stand, you can sweep the arms down by your sides and reach up overhead as you breathe in. Big, expansive breath, take up space. And your exhale, your palms come down to the heart. 2 more. Inhale, sweep the arms up, creating spaciousness. Exhale, palms come down to the heart. Last one. Opening up a body of light. And palms come to the heart. Releasing the arms by your sides. You can take them so that the palms are facing away from the body, fingers spread wide, draw the shoulders down onto your back. Find your mountain pose, stand strong in your truth. Feel the connection of your feet to the mat, the beautiful tide of breath that gives you life and energy, empowered in your truth, your right to exist and be here. With your next inhale, sweep your arms down, reaching up, clasp your hands together, and you can push the palms away from you as you interlace the fingers and reach over towards your left. Take your right foot and cross it over the left. You can keep the feet uncrossed if you prefer, or if you want a little balance challenge, take the foot over the other foot. And let the breath expand on side of your body. Inhale, rise up, release your arms, uncross your legs, shake it out, let it all go. And we move to the other side. You cross the left foot over the right. Inhale, sweep your arms up, clasp and interlace the fingers together as you push the palms away from you. And you reach over towards the side. Open up the side of your body. One more breath. With your next inhale, come upright. Release the arms, uncross your legs, shake it out, let it all go. Find your mountain pose one more time, arms by the sides, shoulders down onto the back, root into your foundation. Breathing in, I am. Breathing out, here. Inhaling from the soles of your feet, send this energy all the way up to the very top of your head, I am. Exhale, here. Send that same energy down the body, back into the earth. One more time, breathe in, I am. Exhale, here. Rooted, grounded. Come back to the front of your mat. With your next inhale, you'll sweep the arms down, reaching up. And your exhale, standing forward fold. You can bend at the knees, let the upper body release. And start to take your hands, they'll come all the way down to the floor and step all the way back, finding your downward facing dog. Lower your knees down. And start to sit back into your child's pose. Reconnecting with your breath. Observe any changes without judgment. And then start to lift upright. Slide your legs and your feet out in front of you. Bring your hips, your pelvis, and come to sit on the edge of your blanket. If you feel like your hamstrings are really tight, you can always slide a bolster or a rolled up blanket underneath the knees. Take your hands behind you so fingertips are pointing away from the body. Draw your shoulders down onto the back, lift up with your heart, tilt the head gently back. Allowing the pranic energy, your breath, to rise from your pelvis up to the top of your head. And your exhale, contracting the low pelvic abdominal muscles. Begin to release this pose. With your next inhale, pull your right knee in, bending at the leg. Your foot can be on the inside of your left leg, or it may come to the outer edge of that leg. We move into a seated twist. Your right hand can come behind you. Lengthen tall as you breathe in. As you exhale, twisting. Perhaps you look over the back shoulder. And inhale, release. Switch sides. Take your right leg, extend it down the mat. Pull your left knee in. The foot on the inside or outside of the right leg. Left hand behind you. Lengthen, breathe in, and exhale, twist. Noticing how the breath changes and moves through the body. And begin to release. Scoot up to the front of your mat and come to lie down on the back as we start to cool down. You can pull the knees into your chest. Maybe you rock side to side. And then take your hands to your knees. Gently push them away from the body, over to one side, back towards you, and over to the other side. Massaging out your back, your low spine. Go the other direction. Lowering the legs down to the floor. You can find your final resting pose. We'll pause briefly in a Shavasana, the pose of rest. If you have your bolster, you can take your bolster underneath your knees for some extra support. Perhaps your arms come by the sides, letting the palms face upright. Make sure that you feel really comfortable and supported. If at any time you want to come out of this pose, you can roll onto your side or even onto your stomach. And settle in here. Check in. Allow the whole body to surrender. Your bones, your joints, supported by the earth. The rise and fall of the belly. Breathing in, breathing out. Allow the whole body to absorb the benefits of your practice. I'll let you know when it's time to come out of this shape. Start to come back into the room that you're in, noticing the sounds around you, and visualizing where you are in the room, the placement of the props, the position of your body, and expanding your breath to wake you back up, making little movements. And perhaps you stretch, opening, waking up the body. And when you're ready, you can roll onto the side and make your way upright for a brief moment. As you come upright to a seat, take one hand on the heart and the other over that hand, bowing your head inward to honor your purpose, honor your truth, your right to exist, to be here and take up space. Align with your worth, that you are worthy, you are inherently worthy and more than enough. Honor the work you've done in this beautiful practice. Thank you for letting me guide you in honor of all that we are and all that there is. Wishing you peace, peace, perfect peace. Thank you so much.